Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of The Usual Place. So I'm not a clubber by any measure, but I'll admit that a new trend in the party scene has got me curious. So Gen Zs are out here partying without alcohol and in the daylight. It's just matchas, coffees, and sick beats. So I want to know what made this happen and what does the alcohol-less parties mean for nightlife as we know it. So to help me answer those questions, on today's episode I have Kavan Spruyt, who is the co-founder of Rasa Space, and he used to work with renowned venues like Berghain and Kyo. Kevin, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
And next to you on the couch, I have Sean, who is one of the Gen Z co-founders of Exposure Therapy.
Yeah.
and it's a company that organizes events that redefine what a party can look like. Well, welcome to the show, both of you. And I have many, many questions, but I want to start with Sean. For those watching who may have never heard of partying sober, what does that mean? And how did it come about?
Honestly, it really came about because of Gen Zs, right? Because at the end of the day, I feel like the cost of living and everything really affects us. At the end of the day, you're just a student, right? And like you're not earning much and everything is just crazy prices, right, these days. So I really feel it really comes down to the cost is one of that. The other thing is obviously got to do with wellness. Right, like think about it this way, right? When you guys went your turn 18, right? You guys look forward to go clubbing and drinking and everything, right? But for us,
when you say y'all, he's talking about us, Kevin.
Yeah, you guys, you both, bro.
Significantly older, yes.
So for us,
for us, it was the right message.
For us, when we turned 18, we had COVID, right? So like we actually didn't really look forward to going to clubs. That was one thing. So I think that's why.
Did you hear about it from the older people?
I mean, we heard about it, of course, right?
Yeah.
But because we didn't really get to enjoy and try all these alcohol things, right? So alcohol things, right? Right. So obviously we don't really look forward to it, right? But we do enjoy music at the same time. That's why I feel like this type of thing really strive these days because people still want to enjoy music. They still want to have the vibe and everything. But at the same time, we care a lot about wellness. In COVID, right? What do you do when you were stuck at home?
Yeah, it was a
workout,
fitness
right?
journey, yeah.
Yeah. So that's why I think it really correlates back in the time then also.
But didn't you crave going outdoors, taking part in the nightlife it was just not a thing anymore?
It's still a thing actually. There is still people that drinks everything and there's still people that actually, there's two different sides of it, right? End of the day, we are just creating a space that we can bring both sides to it, right? We're not trying to replace anything. We're not trying to replace the nightlife, and whatnot. We're creating a space that people that actually enjoy music at the same time but don't want to drink, actually care about being, about their wellness. At the same time, having those people that want to party and still drink, they still can come, right? So it basically creates a new space that everyone feel belonged. Because, end of the day, right, if you don't drink and you go to a club, everyone pressure you hey, bro, drink. At the end of the day, you don't really feel welcome there. So we're basically creating a space that everyone can feel welcome for once. Yeah.
So in terms of, because you mentioned about cost earlier, can you talk to me a bit about that?
Yeah. So first of all, Singapore prices, right? It's quite insane as well. So the entry for the club, that's one thing. Bottle services, that's one other thing. Late night cabs, that's another thing, right? So to avoid all of this, we just do it in the day. That's one, end of the day, in the daytimes, everything is a lot more cheaper, right? Because there's public transport and whatnot. So same time, you can just go down to your cheap nasi lemak store and it's still open, right? Instead of going to Hai Di Lao at night, then you pay $100, right? So I think, cost does play a very big effect, right? And that's why people still rather just do it in the day. So we, like I said, we're creating a space for people that basically want to enjoy at the same time by being able to not spend that much money. Yeah.
Kevin, hearing this, you've been in the scene for a very long time.
Yeah, too long already.
How do you feel about Gen Zs, turning to alcohol-less parties?
It's a sign of the times. As with every generation, there's always a different sign of the times. Back then when, in the early 90s when Zouk first came out, everybody was like, wow, what's this? It breed a new kind of culture, also behavior among young adults, right? And right now, it's also a sign of the times that we just passed COVID. We had a different way of thinking from COVID because we were all stuck at home. The Gen Zs didn't have the rite of passage to go to a bar and put that first drink in their mouth when they turned 18. In fact, what they were doing is what I was doing, or what we were doing, is that we were just at home watching videos of DJs playing music sober, right? So
So it was like kind of like on the internet, and like what do you mean you're watching DJs? Like
There
was it
were-
on TikTok or like?
there were a lot of videos of DJs playing on video streams. So you got like boiler rooms, you got your her radios. You also have a lot of other independent people trying to like do video streams of them DJing, and then people were just, the older generation missed what clubbing was, because I think we stopped roughly about 2 years, right, before we came back. But the younger generation at that time also saw what was going on, and this was their first foray into it. They were listening and hearing, and looking at people DJing and playing music live in front of their screens and not in real life.
And they didn't have to go out.
They didn't have to go out.
Huh?
Save costs.
Yeah,
Save
they
costs.
didn't have to go out. They didn't have that sipness to actually put their drink in their mouth while listening to this kind of music, and they listen to it sober.
And they never meet people. Like, so when when we used to go to club, I mean, the 5 times that I went to a club in my life, it was also a social thing, right? You
Correct.
would meet people, and
Correct.
Sean, hearing about how we did it back in the day, what do you think about it?
I mean, honestly, we are not trying to replace that as well, right? And that's why, like, when we say exposure therapy, there's 3 things we always say: music, matcha, and meaningful connections. There's like, now we're trying to make it more like, end of the day, it comes back to identity, lah. People really care about wellness and everything, right? So why not you still try not to replace the alcoholic part to socialize with people, and just put it in the same setting, like-minded people. People come there knowing they're gonna make new friends. They knowing they're gonna listen to music sober. When I DJ'd for the first event, I thought I'm screwed, because the thing is, right, I don't know how like people react. They're not drinking. I always play in clubs, right? So this is the first time I'm gonna play like with sober crowd. But I
So
was really
previously,
surprised.
before you did the first event was like about 2.5 months ago?
2 months ago, yeah, around
Okay.
there.
So, and this was the first time you've ever DJ'd
So a sober party.
or without alcohol?
Yeah.
Okay, and so my big question when I'm like watching all these events pop up and they're like this, it's an alcoholless party,
Yeah.
it's matcha. How do people get hyped up?
I think end of the day, right, it really is the people hyping themselves up. Because you think about it, right? If you were gonna go to the gym, right, you already know you're gonna go to the gym, and that's why you go there and you have the strength for it. If you just put yourself there, you're not gonna work out, right? So same thing for like this. I feel like you already know you're gonna go there and you're gonna be sober. That's one thing. So you're already aware of the circumstance of it, right?
Yeah.
You're gonna be sober. You're gonna listen to music. You're gonna meet new people. So when you put all these people that already thought about this together, it's just gonna happen.
So they get
Yeah.
hyped up sober because of the music.
The music, of course, the music does play a part and everything. And there's a reason why we do really see me that much. I can let loose, and that's why we actually did that also. But now we see with the next one is at Tipsy Unicorn. The reason why we can move on, because we actually realize it's nothing got to do with the venue already. People really, they are just like-minded people that really come there with the thinking that they know they're going to be sober and they want to have fun.
So it's catching on.
Yeah.
This is a thing that people. Well, Gen Zs are. Well, do you always get Gen Zs
No,
actually?
our age group is quite massive, Our age group is literally all the way from 18 to 38. Actually, we see some, like my parent type of people also, like older people as well. But I also surprised, like, why are you doing here? Your son bring you here or what? But
Ouch! Is it okay to party with your parents? I don't know. This
No.
may be for another
Yeah.
topic.
Yeah, this is
I think
another
it's quite
episode,
trendy now. Yeah.
Oh yeah, but actually parents can party with their
Yeah.
teenage
Yeah,
kids, and then
exactly.
you can bond with them.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
I think it's also a generational thing. My generation also started clubbing, but I think that was, like I said, 90s was the era of the super clubs and clubs. You had Zouk, your MOS, your Stereo Lab as well, Central, and those became parents, and those are clubbers.
Yeah.
I've seen parents who who used to be Zouk regulars bring their kids now because it was the same culture that we were brought up on. It's not like as though we had. Not with my mom though, because that was a different generation that they were born in and a different environment. It wasn't like doos clubbing music back then.
It's a tea
It only
party,
happened
yeah.
during our time,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, like what's this noisy music? Back then the older generation would say, and same for now. Some of my fellow peers are like, what's this noisy music these kids are listening to? The hard techno stuff, the really like. Really super fast BPM. I was like, I cannot keep up with this. Yeah, back then, my parents also said that they can't keep up with this. Allegedly. She didn't say that. I'm just saying
Okay.
that,
She must
that
have thought it,
generation. Not my mom, but the older generation saying that this. It's just a.
Well, Kevin, I'm interested to know what went through your mind when companies like Exposure Therapy come to you and they're like, I want to do a matcha rave. And like, okay, but firstly, what is the deal with matcha? Why matcha? There's a global shortage of matcha. Is Gen Z doing this?
Actually, to be honest, right, matcha is our IP, right, for like the current events and whatnot. But at the end of the day, we would definitely change drinks. It's just not got to do with matcha. Okay, like I feel at the end of the day, that's why at the end of the day we call ourselves Exposure Therapy. We don't call ourselves matcha rave, right?
Yeah.
If you really want to do that, we can just do that, right? But we call us Exposure Therapy because of our branding and everything. But yeah, next one maybe coconut drink. Who knows? Yeah, but it's not. But the only reason why we did matcha is because the other co-founder also,
loves matcha.
Love matcha. At the same time, everyone keeps saying that, So I just like, okay, let's try.
I'm just like, it's matcha everywhere. But yes, Kevin, going back to what I was going to ask you, which was when you're hearing about these like matcha raves, no more bottle service kind of thing.
Have a bottle matcha.
A bottle of matcha? Did we do that?
You should increase the price.
Okay, but what did you think about it? Because it's so different from what clubbing as we know it, right?
Yeah, I think the era of daytime parties has really risen over the last 1 to 2 years. 2 years maybe has risen over 2 years, and like what he said is a sign of the times. So when he proposed to me a matcha rave in the Saturday afternoon, I was just like, yeah, why not? We have been doing a few daytime parties as well with like definitely cool. We did Sing Saturdays for a bit. We're also going to do another one, doing a 90s kind of R&B throwback next week, right? Or this week, sorry. And then, but the daytime parties are really a sign of what the present times are. And when he proposed to me the matcha rave, I said like, yeah, sure, let's do it. Let's try it. It's never the fact that, some of my generation would be like, can you don't call this a rave? It's not a rave. What's this sober partying? Everybody needs to still drink. It's not that. It's that we need to try out something in order for us to figure out where eventually this will lead to. Because I can guarantee
100%.
you that eventually it's not going to be the next hot thing. It's not going to be a matcha rave. It's going to be something else. Something will, it's not going to be like, I can give you maybe an example. Bubble tea was all the rave back then, and it died, and then now it's back to its so-called, everybody's buying bubble tea now,
There's even Labubu rave these days.
A Labubu rave?
Yeah.
So they bring their Labubus in.
To enter, you need to have a Labubu,
Yeah.
It's like
If I don't have, then how? Just get out.
you can buy the door.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's quite interesting concept.
Yeah, but it's a sign, right? Daytime parties are what's kicking off right now because transport has become so unaffordable.
Yeah.
Alcohol has become unaffordable. It has such a huge barrier of entry now that only people with high disposable income can afford alcohol. How much is one bottle of vodka now? I'm not going to give my son. I'm not going to give my son
like $200 or
$500 to buy a bottle, right?
Yeah.
I'm not going to give him $200 just to go out. It's way above what I can.
I earn all this money for you to party.
Yeah, exactly.
No, they have they should party. I would encourage my son after he finishes his army or before his army. If he wants to go out, that's fine. But the problem is it's unsustainable for me as a parent in future. Just imagine I got to pay $200 now easily for a kid to go out, and just imagine by the time my son grows up, he's 7 now. Just imagine by the time my son grows up to be 18,
$800.
how much I have to pay with inflation and it needs to. There has to be some kind of, I would say, some kind of intervention from government and the economic system in order for this to become sustainable. Because eventually, if this continues, not only are we're going to be so sick of daytime parties. It's going to become so saturated. Everybody's competing for the same space, but nobody's fixing the real problem. of what's sustainable.
Is this something, because you've worked overseas before, you've been in Berlin.
Correct.
Is this something that you're seeing, are your friends overseas in the scene, are they also seeing something similar like what's happening in Singapore?
I think generally in places in big cities or where inflation rates have gone up quite high, I would say that's where you see a very huge uptick in daytime parties. I would say that in New York, for example, there's a huge, maybe even in San Francisco, that I'm assuming, but
Even
I know New
Thailand
York.
as well, nearby. Thailand is also quite big nowadays for like daytime parties.
Yeah, but Thailand is big for day and nighttime.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's true.
But that's different, you know.
Yeah.
What I'm trying to say is that in cities where it's big on daytime parties and nightlife is dying,
Yeah.
that's where I'm saying.
Actually, the real thing is, right, I feel that daytime parties always existed. Always.
Correct.
From the dawn of time, right? It's just the alcohol. Like now the sober partying is now becoming the big thing because of the pricing. Yeah.
So is it a cost thing?
Definitely.
If they bring down the cost for
Yeah.
nightlife, will Gen Zs go back there? Do you think so?
Yes.
It
Yes,
really
for sure.
depends. I feel it
Oh,
depends.
No,
okay.
we-
Let's hear Kevin first. yeah.
Because I think a fellow peer of mine, his name is Clement, he threw a tuck shop 10-year anniversary, and his concept was the cover charge was $10, the drinks are $10, and there was 700 to 800 people there. I saw so many Gen Zs there as well, adults, Gen Zs. They were just like, there was no international lineups. You know, there wasn't a need to get a high ticket artist in order for people to come. It was all just locals, you know, good locals. And you could see that although it was a 10-year anniversary celebration, right? I saw the bar moving like crazy. People want to drink. It's just become unaffordable to do so.
Sean, you're
For
saying
me, it
like
really
maybe
depends because I feel that, he does have a point. Like I said, I feel there's an equal amount of people that wants to drink at the same time. There's an equal amount of people that doesn't want to drink.
Correct.
Right? Wait, actually, I kind of forget what's the question. What's it again?
is it about cost? And if we lower the
Yeah.
cost of alcohol and
yeah.
going out, will Gen Zs go back to nightclubs? And
Yeah, okay. Going back to the point. Yeah, cost is one thing. I feel the other thing is literally wellness. Like I said again.
Really?
Because
So-
like it became a norm for us already, right? For literally, right, the whole when the 2 years of when we were 18 to 20 years old, right? We literally just worked out all the time, you know? And that's when we literally are transitioning from a young adult to from a teenager to become a young adult, right? So we actually don't like it's trying to say like literally putting us in a different it's not our norm anymore. If we will go back to drinking alcohol. You get what I mean?
It's very fascinating to me because the going out and the clubbing and the drinking for me at that age was, pushing boundaries a little bit. Like, what can I get away with? Like, like how high can I get? And then for me, it was learning my boundaries with drinking. Like, I
Right.
can't drink beyond this point. And then I know how to manage myself around people who may not have the best intentions, kind of thing. So do you feel like Gen Zs are losing out on that,
I think they just-
navigating that space?
I think it's a lot more conscious about a lot of things these days. Right? You know, like I said, the mental wellness thing, the identity thing. You know, there's
They
a
want to be
reason-
in bed by like
Yeah.
10:30, wake up at 5 and do a
now,
thanks for
you know,
the run.
now you know what's a flex now? You never say, hey, I bought a bottle yesterday in the club. It's not a flex anymore. Now the real flex is like,
Yeah.
bro, I woke up 5 a.m. I went to the gym. That's the real flex. Because who can wake up at 5 a.m. and go to the gym at 5 a.m., right? So that's, I
Is
think,
this a flex? I'll be like, no, I gotta sleep another 2.5 hours.
okay, maybe you try to talk to the Gen Z then. Yeah, but the thing is like, that's their flex, you know? Like, hey, bro, I got Pilates later. They're like, oh, you know? Like, there's a reason why Pilates is so hot now, right? Pilates is so hot now. It's
Yeah.
because it's literally everyone just cares about like wellness these days.
I mean,
literally is
I will
like,
kill for Pilates arms though. So
I don't know. I never attended one class before, so I'm not really sure how it works. But like,
Okay, so what is your flex if it's like not? Oh, is it a sober party? Is that what it is?
yeah, I will say this. So yeah, you know.
Yeah. Well, given hearing this, is there something you wish would still from the hallmark? Was there something you wish that we would still hang on to, even though sober partying is like catching on? Something that we can hang on to from back in the day of traditional clubbing.
Oh my God, I don't want to sound like an old man shouting at the clouds, right?
It's okay, we're already there.
No, I'm not grumbling about. I don't want to moan or grumble about what the present situation is. I just need to we all just need to figure out where this takes us next, and how are we going to survive as a society that needs communication, physical communication with each other, as well as recognizing the fact that we should be going out and meeting new people, get ourselves socialized, get ourselves having real conversations with friends, with family, or with
That's what exposure therapy is all about.
with even your colleagues, right? To have that kind of interaction that, hey, I'm feeling stressed at work because of this. Let's go for a drink. Let's talk about it. I think that's what I hope eventually, post-COVID, it might take a longer time, but I think we'll get back there again. It's just a matter of, like, firstly, I think I mentioned this as well, like, I think working from home also stops us from taking that extra step to get out of our house, to go to a bar or a restaurant or a retail store, to actually just socialize and hang out. When you're out, when you're working from home on a Friday, and it's so relaxed because you're not going to go like, let's cancel the appointment. I'll meet you next week. And I think that, firstly, that I have a theory. That's my theory of why retail and F&B are down.
But it does make sense, honestly. I mean, you think about it, right? Everyone just get comfortable at home.
Correct.
You're not going to leave the house unless you have a reason to. And that reason must be very good, right? It's like, example, your mom says, can you go down buy bread for me? You're not going to say yes, right? Unless it's really like, my mom like, okay, she's really angry, then you need to go down, right? You need a proper reason to go out.
Correct.
Right, yeah. That's why I feel it's hard, bro.
And that's why the parties, and I'm speaking to various other nightlife operators as well, people only go out when there's a reason for them to go out. It's no longer... I'm no longer seeing regular faces coming out every single week because they want to go out. They only come out when there's something interesting. And unfortunately, having something interesting means either investing in a huge high ticket number act, getting a special experience like the matcha rave, for example, or some concert like Taylor Swift or Lady Gaga. I love Lady Gaga, by the way, but that's besides the point. So it has to be more intentional now, and precisely because it's more intentional, that precisely there's an extra barrier of going out now from home, that it becomes like, I'm only going out because there's something special happening today.
People just want new experiences.
Yeah.
I feel that's what they want. And because they get, like, for example, relating back to like TikTok a bit, right? People can't even stick on the same video for 10 seconds, right?
I feel attacked. But I mean, Kavan, hearing what you're saying, it's like, how would this affect traditional nightlife? Because, Sean, you're moving your parties everywhere, right?
Because people get sick of stuff very fast. Yeah.
But it's always been like that in Singapore. It's always been like that. We have always been this hyper-capitalist model where a venue is maybe on a 2-3 year cycle, and after that there's venue fatigue. It's always been like that. You've seen how many clubs open and close.
Come and go, right?
In our time, right?
Yeah.
How long have they survived? Only Zouk is the only long-standing one.
Yeah.
Only. Because of its history, because of what he has done. Since early 90s, it's built up such strong roots. But you're never going to have that again now, because attention spans are just shorter right now. And but attention spans were already short. It's just that it's gotten a little bit shorter.
It's faster, right? Like the turnover for what's exciting is like, okay, we're moving on, we're moving on.
And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong. It's just a sign of the times. We were, we can't just say, the past was better. No, you focus on the present, see what the current situation is, and learn how to enjoy every moment of it. That's what I feel.
So I want to ask Sean about, so we've talked about costs, we've talked about wellness, and a part of wellness is no alcohol, right? So there's a very big sell of these parties type of thing. Is it just uncool now? I'm curious, like, do people say, oh, it's so uncool, I need to go to Pilates so I can't be hungover? And I mean, also among Gen Zs or in Singapore in general, drinking has I think it's like regular alcohol consumption among Singapore residents has dropped. I think there was like a national health survey that
whole
said
world,
this.
actually.
Yeah, and a
whole
whole
world.
yeah. So in your generation,
Yeah.
with your generation, is drinking uncool?
I wouldn't say it's uncool. I think it's just mainly there's two different set of people, right? I feel my generation there's the two different set of people. The people that enjoy it and some people just really care about wellness, right? It depends on COVID time, right? Either you stay home drink or maybe you go out and work out. I think those type of people, right? There's two different groups. So I wouldn't say it's uncool, just whether like these days who prioritize what more. Yeah, and I would say so that a lot of them actually care a lot more about wellness, and that's why there's this trend. Or then everyone just stick to regular clubbing, right? Yeah, and end of the day also, you think about it, if you really got to do with wellness, right? No hangovers, no late nights. Tomorrow your body's still perfectly fine. So you actually feel a better high tomorrow than today, right? The high actually survives the whole weekend, not just like, oh, today I feel high, tomorrow I feel like shit.
He's like memories. Do you ever go to work hungover, still drunk?
I just realized when he was saying that he's right in that sense, but there's also the fact that when you do get drunk, when you do enjoy yourself to a certain degree, it's also good for the soul to just have a release, because the problem with having like this particular wellness thing, I think Ido really one of the influencers really positioned this well. We are becoming we are burning out from having this wellness thing because everybody needs some time, or at least a certain period where we need to release ourselves. We need to just let go of our boundaries. So at least then we know what our boundaries are, like what you just said. And I think whatever he said was true, that you get you get a certain high, you're sober, you don't have hangovers. But sometimes you need those hangovers in order for you to feel like yourself again. You get what I mean?
I know, it's always the recovery. You learn.
Yeah,
not
you learn that
just-
next you're not doing it again,
Yeah.
But you would have thought, like yesterday, oh shit, I really
Had a good time.
had a good time. So obviously when you enjoy the highs, you got to enjoy the lows. But sometimes those highs are really needed in order for you to get away from the stressful life that we have, the jobs that we do, the long hours, sometimes the lack of appreciation in work. All these kind of stuff that we need to release in some way or another, either through therapy.
Yeah. And that's why we do it also, I feel.
Yeah.
Because end of the day, I mean, also about religion, right? Not everyone can drink. Right? So you need to outsource, like
So
put it
you're
out somewhere.
attracting.
So end of the day, we really want to
cannot drink
like
as well.
basically everyone can come here and just feel belonged, right? Like they just feel like, okay, I
Yeah.
can come here and just enjoy, let loose,
Correct.
without the alcohol. So I still not break any rules, right? Or my religion or whatnot. It really depends.
Yeah.
Actually, you do see like people with like tudung and everything coming in as well. Because they just want to come in and actually just enjoy music, but which they can't because of you go to a club, there's alcohol around them. So all these side things.
So you're introducing it to a new group of people as well.
I feel just basically letting everyone feel welcome.
Okay.
Like anyone want to come, you can just come. And you want to drink as well, you can come and get alcohol. But end of the day, we just don't promote alcohol because we actually care a lot more about the wellness part, I feel. Yeah.
Kevin, I want to go back to to what happens for nightlife, and I'm sure you've been keeping up with the new nightlife regulations. Have you, Sean?
Yeah.
Okay, I just want to check because I'm going to
still
tell
awake, I'm still
you
awake.
what it is maybe for our viewers. So just to recap, so restaurant, bars, pubs, bars, and nightclubs in Boat Quay and Clarke Quay will be able to apply for extension of liquor license to about 4 a.m. on Thursdays and Fridays, and then businesses will be able to submit proposals for new bars. So we'll see new bars, pubs, and nightclubs in that area: Circular Road, Lorong Telok, Canton Street. And the one I'm looking forward to is that Circular Road will be a car-free zone again. On weekend evenings and the eve of public holidays. So I want to ask you, will this move the needle for where the nightlife industry is at right now?
So right now we have been talking about high costs. We have been talking about the unaffordable alcohol which the young adults can't afford. Having that extra hour or the flexibility to have additional PL licenses, public entertainment licenses, is great for new businesses who want to come in. Unfortunately, that's not the key problem of why people are not coming out. The problem is we need to solve the number of people coming out first before we add that additional hour. So I guess it's a step, but I think it should be the other way around.
Yeah.
And it should be like, hey, let's try and solve why people are not coming out first. As my theory is, working from home, transport costs, and alcohol costs, right? Or if you want to give an extra hour, you might as well just give it until 6 a.m. where people can take the public transport home and you don't have to pay for the taxis back home. That, I would say, helps a lot. But the problem is, if you extend it until 6 a.m., it's also very taxing for the people like the police to actually do more patrolling during these hours. It's also not, it's maybe not practical, but we really need to solve that first problem of footfall first before we extend that hour. That's good. If you have a lot of supply but there's no demand,
What's the point?
then what's the point? You're just going to cut the pie even smaller among the present businesses who are already struggling to get customers. And I think I said this in my previous interviews, like clubs, even super clubs right now are offering free entry and free flow of drinks just for people to come in.
And is it attracting your peers?
They are actually.
Yeah. And they even have to go to this extent
just to fill up the club.
Just to fill up the club.
So what does this mean for the nightlife business, like say in maybe a year or 5 years? Like, will things change very drastically if they cannot get people in the door because of high costs?
Yeah, I think what's going to happen is that if this continues on, it's just a matter of posturing, right? Like where the next, what the government will do next in terms of its regulation and policies, that will actually determine how things would turn out in the next 2 to 3 years. But if we continue this way without any
direction, I think.
any fixes in our transport costs or the costs, the barriers of entry to go out, like a $80 cab fare, if these things are not fixed in time to come, you would just see one by one everybody who's working in the night industry slowly closing out. Slowly fizzling out, and we'll just be like maybe some other, and I'm not going to mention countries, of course, some other countries that is only alive until 5 p.m. and everything becomes dead. And usually those are countries that have big financial districts. And you don't want to end up like that, because once it becomes a deserted street after 7 p.m.,
as well.
your tourism goes down. Right now, there's also a lack of tourists coming in. Our currency is extremely strong, and therefore you see us all going out. The currency is so strong right now, where is the lowest barriers of entry for tourists to come in? You got your Thai, Malaysians, Indonesians, okay, maybe Japanese. But Japanese are not going to come here anymore. They used to come here to buy branded products, do you remember? But now it's even cheaper in Tokyo. Everybody's going there. So there has to be certain fixes within the present economy here in Singapore before we can. I can't predict what will happen next, but I know if this continues, it's not going to be good.
So Sean, what's it like for matcha raves in 5 years' time? If you can plan ahead. Will we still have a matcha coconut water rave?
There will always be that crowd there, Like we will still want to have these side of things. But at the end of the day, we really can't tell these side of things, right? So we just need to see for ourselves. But
maybe we'll see them back in the club. Well, they never went to the club. Oh no! Wow, really? No?
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
I actually don't think so, because I said, like, if your whole this number of years for us, right? You're only like 20 plus years old, right? If like this number of years we never actually go to the club, right? What hopes they think maybe down 10 years down the road it becomes a new thing for us. It won't be a norm for us to go there. So I think I don't think it make a big difference.
Okay.
But cost, I think the cost thing.
Okay, so that's a major factor.
I mean, a lot of places are now already closing down already. Like, as a DJ as well, right? I got barely any gigs these days, because now the spots that we have is so limited. Everything is closing down. The place I used to play when I just started DJing, right? I think more than half of it is gone. Yeah.
Where was this?
Like I just think like gigs wise,
Oh,
right?
gigs wise. So, as in half of the places when you started
yeah.
at.
But it's because they can't, and those places I know they open there, like they've been open for more than 20 years and they have to close down because of costing and everything. So yeah, it's actually a very, very big part of like the whole F&B, nightlife, and yeah, it's making a lot of places close down. People, one day we have nothing to go out to. If this
That's
carry
it.
on.
Yeah, that's it.
It's going to be it's going to be a desert, you know, at night. And if we continue this way, everybody is struggling. Everybody's trying to cater. Everybody's fighting for the same pie right now.
Yeah. 100%.
Okay, Sean, I want you to take us home with the last question. Because what do you want to tell people? And by that, I mean elder millennials and Gen Xers who don't get the partying sober thing. What do you want to tell them? Don't come to my party.
I have. No, you guys can come to our. How about you come to our party and realize, like, experience it for yourself? Then you tell us what you think.
Very good.
Because for now, you don't even know, right? You haven't been there. Come and try, then we
Correct,
talk.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So on that note, we gotta get to your party then. Is the next one at Rasa Space?
No, it's at Tipsy Unicorn, 20th
Oh,
September.
yes, you said. Sorry, so Tipsy Unicorn. But we can check out some alcohol-less parties at Rasa Space.
Yes.
We'll be back.
We
We'll
got a
be
lot
back.
of-
We'll be back.
Okay.
Yeah.
All
We got a lot
right.
of afternoon parties coming up.
Yeah.
Okay. So thank you both for the
Thank you
conversation.
for having us.
Yeah, no worries. And that's it from the usual place today. If you're watching us on YouTube, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so that you won't miss the next episode. And if you have thoughts on today's episode, do drop a comment on YouTube or talk to me on Instagram at The Usual Place Podcast. I'll see you next week on Thursday at noon.